She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between.
Welcome to the Pretty and Punk podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell.
And I'm Ildiko Ferenzi. Don't you dare say it for me.
I thought you were going to let me introduce you. I was ready to. I'm ready to do it.
I know you are.
So we got another great interview today. And actually, it's kind of interesting because we really want to get female entrepreneurs on here. And that's what we have today. We have a female entrepreneur.
With a really out-of-the-box, let me just say, an out-of-the-box business that you just wouldn't expect anybody to be in.
Well, it goes to show you that you can find inspiration anywhere. If you just keep your eyes and ears open, you can find something. You can find something that's calling you, that's meant for you. And that's exactly what it sounds like she has done.
Well, that's why I love her story so much, because it's just something you wouldn't expect. It's not something she dreamed of as a child, but she is killing it, with her branding. And
she's expanding. So
yeah.
I mean, it's great to see a small company like this start from very small and humble beginnings and grow into multiple cities. So why don't you introduce our new guest?
Raised in Bakersfield, California, and a graduate of Cal State University Bakersfield with a degree in business administration and an emphasis on marketing. After graduation, she went to work at her mother's marketing and advertising firm and helped develop and implement nationally award-winning marketing campaigns. She decided to take a year off, and in that year, she met her husband, and they became pregnant with their first child. During her pregnancy, she discovered Placenta Encapsulation, but couldn't find anyone in her area providing the service, so she decided she was going to do it herself. She also thought she might offer it to others looking for the service and became apprenticing under another placenta encapsulation specialist in Hollywood, California. She also completed Placenta University. Yes, guys, there's a Placenta University out there. She's now considered an expert in the field of placenta encapsulation and has completed the service for others over 2,000 times. Her company has expanded into 7 cities across the United States and has several more locations coming soon. She's an entrepreneur, loving wife, and mother to 3 beautiful children under the age of 5. Yes, she's juggling. Please welcome the founder of Mommy Made Encapsulation, Juliane Corona. Hey girl, I am so excited to have you guys here. So we don't actually know each other, but for some reason or another, your profile showed up on my Instagram and it caught my eye.
Our paths crossed.
Yeah. You did such a good job on the branding. It just caught my eye and I had some questions.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, I reached out to you. And you answered them. You're so knowledgeable. And I just thought, you guys, this is an interview that all these mommies need to hear about because placenta.
And entrepreneurs, because as soon as she got done talking to you, she came to me and she said, hey, we got to interview these people. Because you had talked a little bit about working with your husband and building this business. And we know that you guys are growing quickly. But let's go way back to the beginning. Where did you grow up? How did you get this kind of entrepreneurial bug?
We are both born and raised in Bakersfield, California. Both of our parents, I would say, have a very entrepreneurial spirit. His dad from Mexico came over to the United States, has his own automotive shop, came from nothing. My mom as well, she was the first of her family to go to college and kind of start her own career and do that kind of a path and own her own business. My background is in marketing administration, and I loved everything advertising, marketing. But we kind of, him and I met at a point in our lives where we were both, I would say, rock bottom, not doing well in life, both in really crappy relationships. And we had just got out of them and our paths crossed and we ended up pregnant. And I started searching, everything pregnancy, birth, related. And I kept coming across things about women eating their placenta to ward off postpartum depression, which was something that piqued my interest. And at the time I wasn't working. He was kind of helping out his dad's automotive shop here and there, but there wasn't really much of like a passion for it. He wasn't really getting paid for it. He's retired military for the Marine Corps. So at the time, like we really didn't have an income. We were waiting on his benefits to get approved and come through. I wasn't working. We were pregnant. But I saw this thing about placenta encapsulation. So I looked around and there was nobody in my community that offered this service. The closest person was maybe like an hour away and she wanted to come and do it in our kitchen. And she also charged, it was like close to $400 or something.
Wow.
Looked at my husband, was like, we can't afford that, but I really want to have this done.
Right.
He said, well, like there's so many women in this community that I would think would need this same service that you're going to be getting. Like, why don't you just do it? And so that's kind of how we got started. And really to him, to like pat him on the back, like I came up with this like crazy idea that I saw and I felt like there was a need. At first, I just realized there was a need in our community. I didn't realize that there was a need nationwide. And now we're looking at like international.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
But had he told me like, ew, no, that's weird. That's gross. And not backing me up or supporting me, this would not even exist. But we literally started this. We had a baby shower and somebody gave us like a Walmart gift card and I went and we had no money. So I went and I bought all the supplies that we needed from that Walmart gift card to do like our first placenta encapsulation. He built us a lab out of like odds and ends pieces that we had around the house from the wrecking yard, from his dad's automotive shop. And that's kind of like the story of how it first kind of came to be.
Wow, that's
you
incredible.
Literally gave birth to this business together. That's amazing.
Like really, what was really important, and I found this out through my life and through our encapsulators, is that you both have to be on the same path.
That's right.
I do not believe that you can become truly successful. You can become financially successful, I believe. I don't think you can become spiritually and just successful in all
arenas.
It's a true juggle.
Yeah.
No,
you're so true. Because we call that.
That was one of our questions is like, you can be successful in your business, but then your marriage suffers and fizzles and ends.
Yeah.
Not yours in particular, but a lot of people out there are trying to figure this out.
Ours did hit that point because, the benefits did come in and I was working like, nonstop. Like it was just really me and we had our firstborn and I was also being mom and not saying like, he was lazy or anything like that, but he just wasn't aware of all of the struggles that I was going through as I'm, encapsulating placentas, as I'm, messaging girls, as I'm trying to come up with content, as I'm feeding the baby. And it wasn't until after we gave birth to our second born. And he was like, you know what? I'll go pick up the placentas. That way you don't have to get up out of bed. You just stay in bed with the baby. And he was like, oh my God, like there is a lot of work. Like I can no longer sit on the sidelines. I need to really like help you.
Were you still working at that time, Rick?
No,
I was kind of just hanging out. And I'm going to be honest, I was mentally, how would I say, I was dependent. I needed support through counselors. I needed support through psychiatrists. I was really messed up. I had gone through a lot of like trauma, childhood trauma. And it was all just like, it all happened at once. So Juliane, not only did she have to she had 2 babies and then 1 big baby.
Oh, I know that story.
What? Yeah, I'm like the biggest child in the house, for real. Like I'm the kid. And whenever the kids don't get something, they're like, Dad, I'm like, absolutely. Ice cream? Absolutely. What kind do you want?
You want ice cream before dinner? Sure. Let's go for it.
We're eating dinner. Let's just eat ice cream until we don't want dinner. So that's me. And I realized something, and this piggybacks off her story, is that we sat down one day and our priorities, everybody's priorities change. There's always like the kid, but at the end of the day, I told her, I said, do you really want this? I'm like, do you really want this? Is this what you want in life?
Yeah.
And don't answer. I said, don't answer it. Just think about it. What do you want out of this life? Do you want money? Because if it's money that you want, you're on the wrong path. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to spend time with your kid? What do you want? And we sat down as a couple, and we decided that any kind of recreational activities that were positive, and you can use your imagination, as alcohol and partying, and you have to make a decision. A lot of people think, and that was me, a lot of people think that you can do those things and still be successful. I think that to a certain extent you can be successful, but you can never really reach the success that your heart is asking for.
You said that so beautifully. Keep going. This is so valuable.
Sometimes you want like Julie wants a G-Wagon, but do you really want the G-Wagon? Is that what you want? You want because I can go buy a G-Wagon. We have we get a credit and struggle on the payments. And then what? Then you have it. And then 2 months later, it's just a car that you got to take to the car wash. So we really went over this, and I had not been sober since I was 13. Mm-hmm. So I had mixed anything and everything. I had anything you want, like whatever you can imagine. I've been through it. Yeah. And I said, let's be sober. Like, let's be life sober. Let's be completely and utterly sober. And we lost a lot of friends, and we lost a lot of acquaintances. And I would say we lost a lot of like street cred. which is a blessing in disguise, because it leads you to this. We ran for the last, I think it's going on 10 months now. Yeah. We have been completely sober. And I think that it sounds so cliche and so corny to say it. But if somebody would ask me, like you asked me, what was the pivotal point in your life? It's, you can drive with your feet. You can drive with your feet. Mm-hmm. But, so you'll get to where you go, but that's not how you do it. This is the juggle. You can drive with your feet. That's a good point. But I said, if you drive with your hands and follow the rules, I guarantee you get where you want faster. Yeah. And with less struggle. It was hard. It was a really hard transition, because it was 25 years of the same lifestyle. And I have never been happier. I have never been more awake. Wow. I have never loved my life and my children more than I do now. I've never loved Juliane more, because there was always a stigma behind why we loved each other. Did we love each other because we just wanted to enjoy something? It was just so much behind it. And I think that, as corny as it sounds, and I know I'm going to get ripped for this, but no. When you make the choice to just say, hey, I want that. That is what's in my heart. Yeah. And you say, and you put that at the very top, the rest of the bad things, the dust, the bad people, they'll just fall off on their own. You don't need to shake them off.
To that too, when we decided like what it was that we really wanted, we were going to go like full steam ahead and really take this business to the top. Our house is under construction and has been under construction since like 2000. You started like 2013, maybe. Oh, so like our upstairs has no, it's just the subboard, the subboard. Yeah. So there's like no flooring. There's no doors on anything. Like we continue to take the money and we continue to invest in ourselves and our business. That's and great. Even this year, we needed to buy more packaging and we needed to come up with a significant amount of money. Yeah. And we started looking into loans. We started looking at maybe refinancing the house. Like, what are we going to do? What are the options? And the business just started.
All the doors that people said were open to us. All the doors, all the things that were just, that will work. People just said, no, absolutely not. And it killed me. We just worked hard enough and the money just came and it was there. And we were able, instead of buying things for ourselves, we just put that money right back into the business.
So maybe you could explain for our listeners what a day in the life of looks like for you guys. What does that look like with the kids? Because I know it's not easy having kids, having a relationship, having all this stuff going on, and then like working throughout the day on your business at the same time.
So we sleep in separate rooms because he snores really, really bad. So
Not because she doesn't want me. She wants me to sleep in
No, I get it. I get it.
like I'm so embarrassed because I sometimes wake myself and I'm like, what happened? And she's like, nothing, you're snoring. And I'm like, I'm going to the other room.
But we're like total like co-sleeper family. Like our kids can pick and choose where they want to sleep, who they want to sleep with. So our 4-year-old has her little like bed on the floor next to his bed because she wants to go sleep with dad. So she's in there with him. Then I have our 2-year-old daughter with us. And then we have our newborn in his little like side sleeper bed thing. And so I'm up kind of throughout the night because when we get messages from moms giving birth all throughout the night.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then, I have our newborn waking up because I am breastfeeding him. So he goes through and he's, I nurse him throughout the night. And then our 2-year-old will wake up and she needs a baba. So I have to get up, get downstairs where I let him just kind of sleep.
That's nice.
And I kind of take that part of it. Then we start our day pretty early. I mean, like 6, 7.
I start my day really early. I usually start my day about 5. And the reason I do that, I leave the windows cracked so the sun hits me right in the face.
Right.
Once the sun is up, it hits me in the face and I'm like, no, it's just pretty. And then I get up and I start my day. I'm older. So I'm 41, Juliane. 33. So
he'll get up and kind of start doing some of the like, answering emails because he's also talking to people overseas. So he's kind of like on a different time frame as well. So then, I'll get the girls up and get them ready, get my son ready, try to get myself ready. He will take them to school. And so there's sometimes where like, if I'm ready and everybody's like magically happens to be ready at the same time, we all kind of will go and take that time together in the family, in the car, to drop the girls off at school, go through McDonald's, get some, breakfast for everybody. And then we head back to the office. And by that time, like everything's already like going. So this year was the first year where we really invested, like I said, in ourselves and our business, but we also hired. And that was the first time that it wasn't just him and I doing things. And once we did that, it was like everything exploded in a good way. Our lives changed. Game changer. And so that was a life lesson for me and in business. As soon as my plate gets filled, I need to start pushing things off and hiring. I need to hire people to do these things so we can keep attaining like the bigger picture stuff. So I am no longer doing placenta encapsulations. I'm not doing them. We have, people that are doing placenta encapsulations. We have people that are helping us with social media and messaging. We have people redoing the Spanish community for us. We have somebody that's helping us out with our shipping department. So a lot of the day-to-day things are done by other people and we get to kind of do the bigger picture stuff. However, with that said, now we still do hit those points where we're learning things like
so the day goes by and I'll come home. I do all the hands-on stuff. So I design all the all the packaging, all the designing. I just do it.
Which your packaging looks great. I mean, it really.
I've never seen anything like it because I did a lot of research in Vancouver. That's where I wanted to do it for the first baby. My doctor talked me out of it. He just was like, why would you want to do that? And I guess I felt like I second guessed myself. And I said, I'm so mad that I didn't do it. Second one, I said, I'm doing it. But like, I've never seen the branding, and you're so knowledgeable. And I'm like, wow.
It's very cohesive with the branding. I don't even know
what kind of placenta pills I had made or had done. I'm like, they're still in Vancouver. Are they still safe to take? Because I think you need to refrigerate them or put them in the freezer. Like, I didn't know this stuff. And I was like, wow, this girl, she's got it going on.
When we first started, because we were on a budget, I literally was putting things in Hobby Lobby jars, had glittery note cards and bows and tassels and you name it, and little it's where it started. But we'll look back and we cringe.
Well, I would cringe. I'm a designer. I used to build show cards. It's a funny story, but I poured my whole entire life into show cards.
Oh wow!
Been on TV. I know I like to That was like the highlight of my life. Well, have you seen that show? That's my car.
That's so cool.
That was the definition of who I was.
Yeah, yeah.
So I built a 1960 Caddy. It took me years to build, and I never drove it. I just sold it. I don't even like the cars really. I don't even like driving them. I just like building them. So Juliane said, "Hey, just go ahead and do something."
Because because all this kind of happened right when the VA money came in, and we got like a large lump sum. And we were like, okay, we could put in the floors upstairs, we could fix the pool. Or he's like, if you believe in yourself enough and believe in this, then like, let's up the packaging. I'm like, why would we do that? And it like scared me because here he is like online, like actually starting to design boxes and water bottles and different things. And I'm like, this isn't going to happen. Like, that's a lot of money.
This is the scary part. The scariest part of this whole entire business it goes back. Nothing has been scarier than when we had the only money, and I'm going to be honest with everybody, it was $20,000. Yeah. That's all we had. Like, that was it. Like, we'd rub it on ourselves. We just take it places like to eat and set it next to them. And we were just so like, oh my gosh. And I told her, I said, we made the decision. We ordered the packages. Everything was done. And then the girl overseas said, I can't ship your stuff through the website. You have to send it directly to me. Like basically, like you can't send it to PayPal. You have to send it directly to me. I stopped. It was 2 a.m. I woke Juliane up, and I started to like panic. I had a panic attack. I had to take medicine. I said, "Well, look, don't bitch out now. Like we're fine. We're gonna be fine." Out. And I'm usually the one. And this is, I don't care. It's public. No, I'm a felon. I've been in prison right after the Marine Corps and stuff. So I would say I have a little bit of street cred. I've been, spent my life on the streets and stuff. And she was telling me like, do it then. Come on. I was like, don't dare.
I was like, we already got this far. Like in my mind, we already spent the money. Like whatever. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out.
But that's a big step, though. You have this one chance that you have this $20,000 that you probably thinking this lump sum's never going to come around again. We don't see this anytime soon. So you have this one chance, and you're thinking, hey, if I send this money and they lose it, like, no, you never sent us any money. You didn't go through the website, so they could literally play like they never received the money. And the web company, the company you were dealing with wouldn't be able to reimburse you because
specifically told me, said, do not send the money to them. Told me in an email, do not send them the money. You will never see your package. And they told me that. And Juliane's like, bro, it's been 6 months. You've been working on this for 6 months.
Night and day.
Yeah, she's like, don't be a yeah. And when she said that to me, you can't say that to me. I've been in prison, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that word to me. She said, and she goes, even. So I just percent and I sent it. And we just, that was it.
And she's been our connect ever since. And she's amazing. And she
is her friend.
Yeah.
She texts me and she's like, how are you? And
so whenever we want to come out with like new products or whatever, she's now like our overseas point person, and she handles everything for us, like our broker.
Isn't that
That's a
crazy?
huge leap of faith for sure, though. It's a huge leap of faith.
I love that.
Then we got the packaging in, and then a lot of things were still kind of like crummy. Mm-hmm. I know you know a little bit about branding. I'm just kidding. I've worn off this stuff. So branding is huge. Juliane, that's her degree. And I finally felt
like you knew your spot in the business.
I'm a first generation American. I come from a Hispanic family. My dad is Mexican. He came here illegally. My whole family came here illegally. And my mom brought me here when she was 8 months pregnant, across the river. Oh. And it was just one of those stories, but she's an immigrant. Wow. So I was the first American born out of 50 cousins. I'm the oldest and one of 5 males. And so the pressure's on me. And I've lived this life of machismo. Like, you make me, you clean the dishes. And then I met Juliane, and when something happened and I evolved, and in a matter of weeks, I didn't realize my favorite color was pink. I mean, I love pink. Yeah. But how can I say that, right? I gotta say So I told her, I said, everything's gonna be pink. That's my favorite color. And she said, stop it. And I'm like, oh, everything's gonna be pink. And I found myself, and in finding myself, I realized that I never wanted anything. like, I never wanted to like have a business. I wanted her to have I wanted her to do what she wanted to do. Like, what do you want to do? Like, you want to sell whatever you want to do. So I think that it shifted.
That speaks volumes about you and you guys as a team.
Yeah, I think that's a level of maturity, where you were just able to kind of give up that.
Yeah, like you're this badass dude.
I think it's a level of maturity because we all go through that.
No, I'm the man. I'm gonna you just saw the bigger picture and you knew instinctually that takes a lot to connect to that.
And that love, probably you wanted the best for her and you wanted the best for your whole family, and it didn't need to be you having that name on the front of the book. It's like, hey, you're happy for her. That's maturity. That's just maturity, and I believe me, and I can only speak about that because I've been through the same exact thing. And with her too, I could say, coming from fighting and coming from, I actually used to be a police officer. So, is
that how you could be a dick sometimes? Is it the police officer?
You can't say that. You can't say that on here.
I know. It's wrong.
I can't believe you just called me that.
But sometimes.
Okay, I'll take that.
Hey, it could be worse.
No, I was the same way in the beginning. And real quick, just when we met, like the third day we met, we were just friends, and I was going through a tough time. And she told me, I said, so what do you want out of life? Like, what do you want out of this life? And I was just being kind of mean to her. I was kind of just pressing on her, like, who are you? Well, because you're pretty, you think you're cool, and I kind of just was kind of being mean to her. And we're starting to become friends. She goes, I just want people to respect me. I just want people to look at me and not think I'm just like this. Cause
I was a drug addict there for a year. I was on heroin. When people saw me, I didn't want them to think that's the only thing that they remembered about me or thought about me in our community. I was I want to get rid of because that was not who I am. Yeah. That was just kind of a moment in life. And I wanted to erase that and leave something meaningful. I didn't know what it was going to be. I had no idea because we weren't pregnant at the time or anything. Yeah. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
You knew that wasn't your path. That's not why you are here.
Have you guys ever seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes. We went and saw we were at the premiere. We went to the premiere for it.
Okay. So he told me, he's like, do you know Penelope and Ralph? He's like, Ralph's whole mission is he's her best friend, loves her so much. He just this whole game is about her and he's just there to kind of come alongside her and support her and whatever it is she wants to. He's and that's how I feel my friendship is with you. You don't even realize you're the star of the show and I want to come alongside and build whatever it is you want to build or do whatever it is that you want to do, whatever those dreams are for you. Let's go for it. And that's really how it's been ever since. And he kind of even does look like Wreck-It Ralph.
That's so awesome.
That's my day to day. When you ask me what my day to day is, and it changes just like your day to day. But I think in the concept of the day to day, my day to day is to wake up, make the kids prepare the day for Juliane, because I think that women, especially strong women, are most of the time, and I don't even know statistics because I like saying numbers. It makes me feel smart, but I'm 77. So most of the time, women are not the full potential because there's an insecure man next to them, or there's an insecure person, or an insecure boss, whoever, an insecure family member who always kind of just dims your shine just a little bit, not a lot. I mean, just a little bit. But that takes its toll. And I saw Juliane with no shine. I'm like the Cadillac, the 1960 Cadillac. I don't want to drive the Cadillac. I just wanted to build it and turn it into this great machine, have somebody else enjoy it. But I told her, I said, you are so great. You are so great. And you don't even know it. And the women that come into our place here, their lives change. I feel like the secret is all women obviously are beautiful in their own way, but some women don't realize how shiny they are. There's women, I'm like, oh man, she could be anything she wants. And then you meet her and talk to her, and she's just so broken down because of what the stigmas around her and stuff. And that's what I do. My daily mission is to make sure that Juliane performs at optimal, at optimal performance. But I will say, when it doesn't happen, I am not nice. I am not when she stubs her toe or something like that happens and she comes to me, I say, oh, don't stub your toe.
Yeah.
Ta-da. Don't do it. Well, don't do that anymore.
The military guy comes out. No excuses.
Yeah.
No excuses. Get up, soldier.
No excuses.
Yes.
You want to be successful or do you want to cry? Which one do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, right now I do just kind of want to wallow a little bit.
Right.
So that's my daily mission.
Yeah.
And then Juliane is basically the glue to the everyday life here.
And the cool thing though about this business, this third leg that we're working on is we are actually starting to get brand representatives all across the United States. So there'll be Mommy Made Encapsulation specialists just like me and representing the brand. And we'll have a Mommy Made like in all different cities around the actually internationally is what we're looking at. That was like a breath of fresh air in this business, to be able to provide these women their own business so they can have their own source of income. They can also be providing the same encapsulation service to women who, are giving birth and helping them with their postpartum needs. So it's like this goodness, like all the way around. And it's so exciting to empower these women. They don't even realize like, hey, oh my God, like girl, like you can just own it in your city. Like you're going to kill it and also be helping moms along the way.
That's great. You're changing people's lives.
Yeah.
And we saw that too, that there was a license or something going on in Texas and one in San Diego. I'm sure you probably have, I don't know if you have more, but we saw both of those on there.
I wanted to, while we're talking about the business, just real quick, for the audience members that don't know, can you explain real quick the process? Did you say that you took pills after your first baby?
Yeah.
Did you take the pills? Okay. Because I haven't taken them yet, so I'm curious what it's going to do.
Well, and it will still help you even now. So with my firstborn, I was looking into it and I kept seeing people eating their placenta. I didn't really understand why until I started looking more into it. But basically what happens is a woman, when she becomes pregnant, her placenta develops and takes over all of the hormone production in her body. So all the other endocrine organs that are normally producing hormones, they stop. They go on vacation for her entire pregnancy and thereafter. And by the time a woman delivers her baby, her hormone levels are 3 times higher than when she first got pregnant. But once she has the baby and the placenta is delivered, all of those hormones leave her body in the placenta. And then she experiences this huge hormone crash and her hormone levels are 3 times lower than when she first got pregnant. So she goes from like this extreme high to this extreme low. And that's what triggers and causes the postpartum depression, is that like hormone imbalance. So that coupled with a newborn crying baby keeping you up all night and all day, and whatever other anxieties, or fears or stresses that are happening. Breastfeeding is another one for women that like really stresses them out, and just the healing that your body has to do. So the whole idea is to put all those hormones back into your body, and there's stem cells, there's other iron and protein, and it just basically helps your body to return back to normal faster, because hormones control and regulate everything in our body, from how we think, how we feel, the way our body heals, like or the postpartum hair loss or weight loss, like all of that is all controlled by the hormones. It's so funny because like, women don't even realize how beneficial their placenta is. And like you said, like you were told like, oh, it's disgusting, like don't do it the first time. There's pharmaceutical companies and research companies that are buying placentas for their stem cells because they are so beneficial. But basically, instead of just letting your placenta just fall by the wayside, what we do is we either, if you're in a local pickup area, we will come to the hospital, pick up your placenta, we wash it, we cook it, we cut it up into pieces. Those pieces then get dehydrated for 12 hours.
Wow.
Then it gets crushed up into a powder. That powder then gets placed into, we have flavored capsules. So bubblegum, grape, lime, orange, strawberry flavored capsules. And then we give it back to the mom in our beautiful packaging. And it just basically acts as like a daily vitamin to help a woman bounce back from her pregnancy and childbirth.
I made my husband watch it, and I saw that you had like
Whoa.
lemon. He was like, "Oh my God," which is surprising. I mean, you know, you're this tough guy, and you watch fights.
I had to walk away.
He's like, but you had like lemon and cayenne and ginger.
So does this help with postpartum too? I mean, I got to think that
Just trying to
it helps.
understand.
Yeah, the benefits is to help you won't get postpartum depression or even like the baby blues. It helps to just kind of like level you out mentally, physically. Like a woman, I didn't know this when the first time I gave birth, a woman will typically bleed after she gives birth for about 30 to 45 days. And the placenta encapsulation and all the stem cells in the placenta help the body to heal faster. Like that is cut down by like half.
Wow.
Women who have had C-sections as well, like they're up and moving around like in half the time that it would normally take to recover. It helps with milk supply. It has like lots of oxytocin in it, and oxytocin is known to help with all of the like mammary gland production, and the list just kind of goes on. Women tell me like, oh, I didn't have the postpartum hair loss this time. It helps your uterus contract back down the size a lot faster. So it helps you to return back to your like pre-baby size a lot quicker.
Wow.
Lots of benefits.
Yeah, because I just had my baby.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, he's an angel, and I deserve him so much. Our second born is just hell on wheels. So I was like, we cannot end it on this note. And our baby is just an angel sent down from heaven, and I am like, I deserve you after having to deal with your sister. It's been months later, and I do have some saved because your pills never expire. They don't ever go bad. So there'll be days where like I'm getting like really irritable, and Rick will notice, and he's like, okay, before we go any further in this conversation, he's like, how many placenta pills did you take today? I'm like, this has nothing to do with that. And he's like, just how many have you had? I'm like, none. And he's like, okay, so I'm going to step away. I need you to go take some placenta pills, and then we can have this conversation later. And I'm like, no, it's not going to. And I come back and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know who that was. Sorry. He's still dealing with all these like hormone imbalances like months later. It typically takes, without placenta pills, it typically takes a woman's body 6 to 12 weeks before it produces a significant amount of hormones again and like kind of like levels out. So that's how you get this, postpartum like monster kind of popping up here and there.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. As a mompreneur, at times I struggle with judgment from others, even my own judgment. Do you ever get mom guilt, and how do you deal with it for those moms out there and dads?
I cry. Is how I deal with it. I mean, it does that. It happens to me a lot. I had mom guilt because I did want to be a stay-at-home mom. That was why I did this. And this just kind of took off. And then my kids, even though they were here home with me, I felt like we're kind of being neglected. Like our oldest, she is so unbelievably smart. And I felt like I wasn't being able to give her my full undivided attention and what she deserved. So instead, I tried to just change my like mindset. And I'm like, if I'm not going to be able to do that for her, then let me work my ass off so I can provide those things for her. So now they go to like a private school, and our 2-year-old she comes home and she's like counting, I know how to count to 16. And our 4-year-old is, knows how to spell her name, and she knows how to write. Like that to me kind of reverses that mom guilt. And what I actually started to do is I started listening to different podcasts about mom guilt. And I cannot remember who it was, but she was saying, I think it was like Rachel Hollis or something. She was like talking to somebody about mom guilt, and they said, they went to like a third world country where they're there to help train the women there and give them like skills on, how to make things or how to basically provide an income. And it was a community that was predominantly like prostitute driven. Like that's what the women did. And she said one of the women there was crying from America about, mom guilt, and like, oh, do you guys experience mom guilt? And they're like, they had no concept of what mom guilt was. Like, wait, you guys in America, like you feel guilty about being able to provide, like you can work legally and provide money for your family and your children to give them a better life, and you feel bad about that. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, like I need to not feel so bad about that. Like we have an opportunity. I have an opportunity to give my children something that I didn't have, and to give them a leg up in life. And that helps me to kind of like put things in perspective. And then we've started to do things like, okay, on the weekend, work is to a minimum. Like if there's a crisis or something that needs our attention, other than that, like we're going to devote our time to them. Somebody told me, they said, if you just focus, like razor sharp focus for 6 months, it will put you ahead like 3 years in life. And I said, if we can do that and just get like really, really focused on what our mission is and work our asses off right now, then by that time, they're still so young. They'll still be like 7, 8 years old, and we can enjoy the rest of that time with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of helps me feel better.
And I think the
I
truth
love
is
that.
too, you lead them through example. You guys are working hard. They see how you guys are working. They're going to learn that from you guys and bring that on to whatever they decide to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. And I know you guys are working so hard and especially building a new business and with all these new things going on and satelliting, licensing your brand out to, well, actually, are you guys licensing?
We are, the way that our business model is set up is we have what we call an independent brand representative. So
Right.
each person is basically like a contracted to represent the Mommy Made Encapsulation brand.
Okay, that's great. So I know all this takes a lot of work. How are you and your husband kind of trying to keep your relationship together? That's been hard for us
I'm
too.
so glad that he jumped on here because you guys are just so beautiful together.
Yeah.
And I could see like how this has flourished. Like you guys together, it's amazing.
For us right now, it's in the little moments. Like I said, like driving our kids to school together in the morning. Once they're gone and dropped off, then we have like, that drive on the way back with each other. Sometimes we'll just unplug. And I mean, I know now with like COVID, kind of a little bit harder, but like we'll go sit out and have lunch like on, one of the restaurant's patios. Actually, last weekend was the first weekend in I don't even know how many years. We drove to the beach to Pismo, and we were like, let's just stay the night. We're like, can we stay the night? we don't have to pick up placentas anymore. Like we have people that do all that. Like it was just, and now that we did that, we're like, we didn't realize how much we were missing that in our life. But in the meantime, we're just doing these like just little like moments that we can. Like our daughters are staying the night at grandma's tonight. Our thing is food. Like we love food. So like what sounds good for food tonight? Like sushi? Do we want to cook? Like I love to cook and being together all day. And really, we just find like little moments like that.
I like that you say that, the little moments, because a lot of people put stress on, oh, you have to have a date night. Well, I don't know. But when you're juggling like 2 or 3 or 4 kids, like by the time date night comes along, like I'm so exhausted. Let's do like date breakfast or, find the little moments. That's where it is. Like when these couples put so much stress on themselves, like we don't do date night or we don't, it's the little moments. And I'm so glad that you said that because that just takes all that stress off people. Like, of course it would be nice to, but am I even awake? But like, I'm just
no, I know, but like 9 o'clock, like I'm done. I'm like, it's time to go to sleep. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I know people are going to be texting me all throughout the night, but we have like this mutual like understanding where it's just, I mean, even when it comes to sex too, honestly, like for us, it's this when we can, like if we can catch a moment here, catch a moment there. It doesn't have to be this like long drawn out thing. If it's just like a few minutes to connect that way, and it can be during the day, it can be in a bathroom, it might be in the laundry room. It might, I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like what I had been like conditioned to think like, oh, like you have to do it this certain way. So it's, we found that like, it's this like ebb and flow of like moments that kind of keep us going. There's not like a, hey, okay, so it's Tuesday night. It's 8 o'clock. The kids are going to bed. It's not that because the kids are going to be waking up. The kids like sleep with us. So it's not that for us. So I think for each couple, it's kind of like whatever works for you. You can't just like be so hard on yourself or what works for one couple as like a mold, like it's not one size fits all.
That's right.
Definitely not when you have 3 kids and running a business and a relationship. Yeah.
And then the date night maybe looks like, okay, the kids are in bed. Let's just lay here for a second. But
we haven't caught up on Netflix and chilled in a while.
We haven't watched a movie in I don't know how long.
No.
Yes. And like those are little things that like some people that they have the luxury of doing.
Exactly.
And so for us, like they're like, what are you guys going to do for a vacation? We're like, we literally went to the beach and just sat there in our hotel room, ate food and watched a movie.
Yeah.
Right. Because those little moments of quiet are that's a vacation.
It makes you appreciate things that much. Like, just life is different. And I feel for myself, when the kids were born, a different part of me was born. And I see that even in your husband, you know, just from his story, like, what a blessing. How amazing.
A lot of people are, with this pandemic and everybody locked down, a lot of people out of work, people lost their jobs. Everybody's finding, it seems like so many people are finding a business.
They kind of pull out their dusty old laptops and start a new business.
And they're starting something. So do you have any advice for those people that are starting their first business? Because I like you spoke a lot about how hard it can be. So what's your advice for those people? You had all the odds
against you. You guys really had all the odds against you. And look at you guys.
Honestly, when people ask me that question, it's very easy. It's just, don't just go with whatever you think is going to stick to the wall. Don't just throw a bunch of things at the wall, hoping something is just going to stick. Like, oh, I'm going to do this like bracelet making business. Oh, I'm going to do this purse thing. Oh, I'm going to do this car thing, whatever. Like, it really has to come and spark from whatever you really, truly are passionate about. Don't just do a candle business because you're like, oh, I think this is going to sell, or a bath bomb business because you think that's what, you know, is in right now. If you truly are like, I love candles and there's a certain way about the wicks and then the burn. And if you do this kind of wick versus that kind of wick and this kind of oil versus whatever, and these scents can, like, that's someone who's passionate about it. And that passion is going to shine through. Absolutely. And it's going to shine through all of the people who are kind of like just testing out the waters. By doing that and finding something that you really, truly are passionate about, even as weird as it might sound or be to other people, like, my God, if like, I had a penny for every person that gave me a strange look. Like, even I remember my mom, I sat down in her kitchen. I was like, so I'm going to start a business and I'm going to start encapsulating placentas. And she was like, the look that she gave me was like, are you, I can't tell if you're joking or not. And as weird as it may sound, as off-putting as it might be to other people, you have to go with your gut. And if you're passionate about it, it's going to shine through and you will find success in it.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say, like, later we're going to share your social media links, but you're really good. I mean, not just like, you have to pause when you see your page. The branding is amazing, but your stories are great. Like, you share every step of your journey. And, you know, there's this fire and this energy behind your shares, and not like, it's just so interesting.
Some people think about passion. You'd think that you have to, if you like riding bikes, that it has to be a bike thing, because it doesn't sound like you had grown up thinking you were going to make placenta pills.
It's just cut.
But it sounds like you were passionate about the process, about
and what it did for you,
how it could help people and how it helped you, and about selling that idea to people and helping others that, you know, had taken it for the first time or didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I was really taken aback by how many women just were completely unaware about like postpartum depression. Like, I've even on our social media done like polls, like, hey, like, how many people, like, women know about, you know, what causes postpartum depression? Do you know what it is? Do you know what causes it? Do you know how to prevent it? Do you know how to help it? And it was like overwhelmingly, like, women were like, no, I have no idea. And it happens to like 85% of women. Like, 1 in 5 women will get postpartum depression, unless they do something about it. But it's like, that to me was just like astonishing. So that has been like my mission, is just like helping these women to know about what's going to happen to them when they're giving birth, or what happens after they're giving birth. Just really trying to put the word out there and helping them in ways where they can, you know, now have a profession in placenta encapsulating. Like, I want to share with what I've been able to do and what I've learned along the way. I want to give that to other women.
That's so good.
Now that you're here, what's the most important thing to you and Rick as parent, like in your parenting?
For your kids?
I think for me, it's been, each one is different, like so different. And what works with one definitely doesn't work with the other. And we have, I think, kind of like found like we're trying to find our groove with who is more helpful in what arena with each child. are the one that's really difficult is him. That's him to a T. And I don't know sometimes how to deal with her. And he will step in. Our other one, our oldest, she's exactly like me. She's me to a T. So then there's moments where I have to, I just get her.
Yeah, the oldest one is perfect. Valentina. Sometimes I feel like she's
patronizing him.
She's like, Dad, you look like you need a warm hug.
Oh.
Are you playing? I feel like sometimes she's just like being like sarcastic. I'm like, want to fight? She's like, no, Daddy, you look really sad. Do you want a hug?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So mean. I thought she was lying.
She's going to be such a good mommy.
That's great.
She's going to be a great mommy.
They can read you. I feel like that's the one thing about my son too. Like he could read me. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, wow, no, but nobody's asked me that today. I got to get down on my hands and knees and look at him and like, don't lose that. Don't lose that, baby. That is so amazing.
As parents right now, we're just learning that, I mean, it's not just like what worked with one doesn't work with the other. And then,
I think, my thing was asking for help. Like, I am very I ask for help now. I just ask people, I'm like, hey, what do you recommend?
Yeah, that's the best thing.
People tell me little nuggets. A lady in the store I'd never met before. I was at Vaughn's line, and she said, hey, do you mind if I give you some advice? And I was kind of offended, but I'm like, well, yeah, it probably looks like I need advice. So, I just let her say it. And then she said, when you speak to your son, just say, hey, look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes. And wait. And you might have to do it 3 or 4 times. And that has worked wonders for every child. It's the most incredible thing. It's like hypnotizing. I know a lot of people in this whole country, the way things are going, and everybody's always offended. Everyone's offended, but we believe in God, and we're not ashamed of it. We believe in God. And I feel like God sometimes sends you little messages because he's got to have a sense of humor.
Oh, I believe that.
But he sends them to you in the most, like, are you serious? Like a lady, she just stopped the whole store and told me, hey, sir, can I give you some advice?
Not crazy.
You're in a fight right now.
You sent an earth angel, right?
And I think that we forget to just listen and just take advice. I think that's that's what I'm going to say. I say, take advice. And if you don't know, it's okay to ask because you don't have to do what they say. I think getting advice from other parents. Yeah, that's my advice.
So this is a total hypothetical, and this isn't true, but we ask this in this way so that it means something to you guys. And we all want to live a long life with our families and our kids. But just hypothetically, if you guys were on a plane together and you guys were going on a vacation or something, and you were on the phone with your kids up in the air, and you knew the plane was going down, what's that one piece of advice that you would want to leave with your kids? What's that one thing that you'd want to tell them that you knew that would be the last thing you'd ever be able to say to them?
I don't know what you did, but you struck a chord somewhere.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got a little choked up. Yeah. Wow. I don't show emotion ever. I do not show emotion, but I think that if I could tell my kids anything, I would tell them to be themselves. Like, do what you want to do in this life. Just do not
be a watered down version of yourself.
If people don't like who you are, get new friends. If your job doesn't like you, get a new job. Find the slot that God made for you. Find that slot. Go look for that slot. That's what I would tell you. Just do not settle for the slot that does not fit you. That's what I would say. Wow,
that's amazing. I love that.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mommy?
No.
Mommy?
Oh, no. I mean, that pairs up with Brian. We've talked about this. We said, if we could tell our kids one thing, what is it that we have learned that we want to make sure, because we do talk about that, and it's making sure that they find their true happiness. And that is in being true to yourself and whoever it is that you are and God designed you to be. But you just worded that. I mean, I shouldn't even talk anymore.
No, that was great. No, that's a great message from both of you. And we both believe the same thing. So that's just the perfect message.
Mm-hmm. before we wrap up, we didn't even talk about it, but you have like this high profile clientele. Like, you guys are on the right path because there's all these entrepreneurs out there. Like, what would it feel like if a celebrity or this social media star started using your product? And you have a lot of that. Like, we didn't even cover that, but just real quick, that's like a feeling of like, oh, I'm doing something right. Like, I'm actually helping people. These people that are doing research, they're coming to me, these A-listers. And
yeah, what'd that feel like?
What's that feel like?
It's so exciting. It goes both ways. There's people that reach out to us, and it's people that I'm bold enough, like I'll go and I'll, approach them as well. Like, hey, like I saw you're pregnant. Have you thought about this? And again, like we do it in such a way that it is attractive. It's not this like scary, dingy, like I don't know, like scary.
It's
thing.
holistic.
Holistic, but but it looks fabulous too. So like we've had people tell us like, oh, so and so person will do it. If you pay them $8,000, they're gonna put you on this. Or I'm like, no, I will still do it for them. And if they want to talk about it, then great. And if not, then that's okay too. And that has been what we've stuck with from the beginning. We've never paid anybody anything to talk about us. And so when it does happen, like literally, like everybody here knows, they're like, I will go screaming through the halls. I'm like, yeah! I fall to the ground and they're like, oh, like, did somebody just post or something?
That's awesome.
I can't even talk right now. Just give me a second. Because it's like we work so hard.
Yes.
Juliane, the advice would be like to everybody out there, and I know I'm talking to your fans now, and if I can give you best advice for this is never, ever, ever sell yourself short. Like, do not sell yourself short. If your product is real, and who you are. Like, if you ever want to know who you really are, because a lot of people don't want to, but if you really want to know what your product is and the quality of, you want a real reality check, offer it to somebody that doesn't need it, like a celebrity. Offer it to somebody and do not pay for it. Just do it for free. If your product is good, people will respond.
Yeah.
And it's not just one person. It's not just one person out there. It's not one celebrity. It's not one influencer. Put it out there. Just show them. And I'm telling you, if you believe in yourself and you're legit, people will recognize it. They will
respond to it.
And they'll respond to it. And there'll be a point where obviously you have to start spending the marketing dollars, and that time will come. But if for the early entrepreneurs, if you believe in your product, so will everybody else.
Yeah.
You got to believe.
Okay, so there's a lot of people out there now, if they've never heard of this before or they know about it, they've heard of placenta pills before. There's a lot of them out there who want to learn more about it. Where can they find you guys, and what's your social medias? What's your website?
So we are you can find us on Instagram, Mommy Made Encapsulation, or you can find us online at mommymadeencapsulation.com. Facebook.com/Mommy Made Encapsulation. Snapchat is Mommy Made Encap.
That's awesome.
And
Great.
Twitter? Are you on Twitter? You're on all of them?
Oh, we are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. We are on Pinterest. TikTok. We got a TikTok going on too. All of it is Mommy Made Encapsulation.
Yeah. You guys
and we have a
check
free
out
giveaway too. We have a free giveaway too. So if any of our listeners want to do it, what are we going to give them if they go through you guys?
If you guys want to do a placenta encapsulation, we will include a free umbilical cord keepsake if you type in the promo code Pretty and Punk when you sign up for your placenta encapsulation. And for those of you that don't know what an umbilical cord keepsake is, I'm going to show you guys. You guys can actually see it.
Yeah, for anybody who's got video.
This is my baby's umbilical cord. So it actually comes still attached to the placenta. We take it and we shape it in the shape of a heart. We dehydrate it and then we dip it in gold chrome.
Wow.
So it's a way for you to keep your, it's like, it feels like metal.
You know what? I saw you guys making this. I saw a video, but I didn't know. I couldn't watch for the end.
I watched it.
So I didn't see the end. But that's amazing.
this is it. And, like there's women, I mean, I was included in this.
Yeah, so did I. It's horrible, but it's like, that's what kept us together for.
So I want to be able to commemorate that. Like, this is like something tangible that you can hold on to. Like, this was your baby. Your baby was tethered to you by this. This was your,
That's
like,
awesome.
her, like, life
Guys,
support.
A keychain or a Christmas tree ornament.
Yeah,
That's
no, but listen, you guys that can't see it, it's beautiful. So it's your umbilical cord shaped in this perfect heart, and she sprayed it with gold.
Or they dipped it,
gold, like, it looks like those floating heart pendants that were in style a long time ago? Like, I worked in a jewelry store. That's what it looks like. It looks like an enormous floating heart. It is so beautiful. Like, that's
beautiful.
So much better than the little stump
It's beautiful. Don't watch them make it. But it came out beautiful.
I like
it. Came out great. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah,
that was
a
great
so
interview.
busy.
And really, we're both happy that we got to interview both of you guys, because I really think it's going to help all of our listeners.
Glad we got to hang out.
So much.
Okay, well, thank you guys, and we will catch you next time. See you, Rick.
Bye, Rick. Thanks for coming on here.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Take care.
Bye, you guys.
Wow, that was another great interview. It was awesome that we had a female entrepreneur on today.
Yeah, I love how she just broke out of the box and started her own thing. She had this sign, she had this vision, and she went after it.
And how cool was it that we had her husband on?
I know, we didn't plan for that. That was fantastic.
That was last minute.
I love how they just built this thing that they were both passionate about. And you could just tell, just by the way he was talking about it, how much he believed in her. And it really takes a selfless person with a man so powerful, and just having that behind you. Wow. That's
And a lot of self-confidence. You can tell you have to have that self-confidence to be able to be that open with it, kind of how, his support. That's hard for men to do sometimes, to let go of that, because we feel like that's the one thing that we have, is that it's our job to support our family. And when you feel like your wife is kind of taking that position, you have to come in for that major support, because now you're a family, you're a functioning family, and you're working as a single unit. And so those old myths of that the man has to be the breadwinner just isn't true.
Right. And it just goes to show how they need each other to do this, to create this awesomeness, and nothing's impossible. And guys, 3 kids under the age of 5, no excuses, guys. There's just no excuses. I love it.
Yeah, so he really stepped up. So that was good that we had him on there, because it made me question some things about myself, even his vulnerability and how he came forth. It made me think about myself and how am I acting in our relationship, and the things that I'm doing. I guess I can always get better. And let's not forget the offer that she extended out to us too. If you're thinking about getting encapsulation after having a baby, you can go to her website, mommymadeencapsulation.com. And when you order, use the code Pretty and Punk, all lowercase, and you'll get that free pendant. And what is the pendant again? It's
an umbilical cord that we all keep as first-time moms, but it's usually
ugly chunk.
It turns into
that you stick in a plastic bag.
Yeah, and it looks like a big old scab. Well, she designs it beautifully into a heart and sprays it with chrome gold. It
actually looks great. It totally
beautiful.
Blew me away. I didn't know what I was looking at, and once I saw what I was looking at, I understood. But it really looks good. They do a great job. If you can, go to their website and look at it. If you're thinking about it, mommymadeencapsulation.com, and check them out also on their Instagram at Mommy Made Encapsulation, and also on Facebook. What a great interview.
That was a great interview.
Yeah.
And don't forget to follow us at Pretty and Punk Podcast
on Instagram, and also go to our website. If you have a question for us or anything, or you want to shoot us a message, go to prettyandpunk.com, and you can message us or email us on there, or message us on our personal Instagrams, because it's the best way for us to respond is on Instagram. It's at tapoutpunkass or at spicy LIL Lil Pepper, PEPPR.
you
I had to think
struggling?
about it.
I'm the one nursing the baby, and you're the one struggling.
Sorry.
Come on.
This is a long episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. It was a great
awesome.
episode, and we will have you on. We have a great episode next week too. So be sure to jump on, and we will see you.
And subscribe and review and rate. And don't forget to leave your @link handle when you do the review, because we're doing a contest. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to connect next week.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. We love you.